guys, welcome back to our channel. In this video, we will tackle several programming problems involving loops, calculations, and user inputs. We will cover topics such as printing a specific number pattern, calculating averages, billing calculation, pricing based on quantity, and the file name manipulation. So please take note that the projects or the solutions that I'll be working are uploaded to this link. You can download and refer to the answers provided. So let's start with our first problem. So let's create now a file, a new file, and this time we're going to give it a name, solution 6. So sorry, let's create a new file again. So solution6.java. Okay, so we have our file already. Let's move this one here. Again, let's copy the problem and then let's solve it here. So this time, if you look at the required output, we will be printing out the numbers 8, 11, 14, 17 until 89. So the problem requires us to create a loop, and then we will start by with the number 8 and then until we reach 89. And if you notice, there is a difference between there's a incremental value of 3 based on the given series here. So we still have 8, 9, 10, 11, so we have a difference of 3 here. So to start, let us create our main class here, and then we'll start already writing our codes. So again, we will be creating a for loop and then printing out this series with an increment of 3 iterations. So let's start for, and then open parenthesis. Let's start with int I is equals to 8 there. So that's our starting value until I is less than or equal to 89. Okay, 89. And then we're going to increment I by 3. Okay, so this will be our looping statement. Okay, let's have some spaces here. Then after that, let us now have our output to display the value of I, and then we have it I plus, okay, and then let's have some spaces in between. Okay, that's it. So I think this is the answer for solutions or problem number 6 that allows us to print out this series of numbers. So let's try it out. Right click, run Java. As you can see, we have our output here. So we start with 8, 11, 14, 17, 20, 23 until we reach the number 89. Okay, so this is solution number 6 for problem number 6. Let's move forward with our next problem. So let's create a new file. This time we'll give the name solution7.java. Solution 7. Okay, there. Let's copy the problem. Okay, and then we paste it here. So the problem, wait, let me just arrange this one here. So we will write a program that uses a loop to ask the user to enter 10 numbers. Then the program should be able to print the average of those 10 numbers. Okay, so we will be asking the user to input. So if we do that, we need to import our scanner class and then create an instance of that. So let's start by typing here import java.util.scanner there, and let's have our main class here. Okay, so first thing that we have to do is to create a After inputting, we need to create a scanner object for us to read our input. So we start by typing here scanner, scanner, and scanner is equals to new scanner, then system dot in. Okay, so here it is. Next is we will be asking the user to, or prompting the user to enter 10 numbers here. Okay, but before that, let me create first a variable to hold the sum, since we will be upon input we will already compute for the value. So double sum, okay, this one here, and then let's create an for loop for I is equals to 1, I less than or equal to 10, and then increment it by 1, I plus plus. Okay, there. So since we will be inputting 10 numbers, okay, sorry, we need to initialize the variable here. Then inside the loop we will have our prompt already. Okay, so let's start with this one here. So enter number, okay, plus I plus some spaces. So since we are required to enter 10 numbers, this prompt here will indicate the values together with our I. So the output will be something like enter number 1, enter number 2, and so on, right? After that, let's create now an input. So enter double number is equals to scanner dot next double, there. And then we will already compute for the sum by having here sum plus equal number. Okay, by the way, since this is sort of a incremental value, I will be initializing the sum to 0. Okay, next is we need to compute already. So this will be our input, asking the user to enter 10 numbers. So this is the part, and then the section here is that we're going to print and get the average of those 10 numbers. So let's compute for the average. Okay, so compute for the average of the 10 numbers inputted by the user. Let's create a variable double average, okay, is equals to sum, which is our variable, divided by 10, which is the number of elements. And then after that, we print the output, which will be S out. And then we're going to type here the average is then plus average there. Okay, let's have a column here. Okay, and then after that, since we open here a scanner, we need to close it also. Scanner that close. Okay, so let's review our code. So in this program, we are solving for the sum or the average of the 10 numbers. So we created a for loop that iterates from 1 to 10. Within each iteration, we will be prompting the user to enter the number, okay, this one here. And then as we input the values, it will be stored to this variable. Then after that, we will be computing for the sum of the numbers. Okay, after we have computed that, this section here allows us to compute for the average of the 10 numbers, which will be stored under this variable average. And finally, in order for us to get the result, we will be printing out the values of the average variable. Okay, so let's test this out. So first right click and run Java. So this is the prompt already. As you can see, we have enter number. This is the prompt. and then I here refers to the series, right? So we'll input 10 numbers here. Okay, so let's start with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10. And then the average of the 10 numbers here is 15. By the way, let us modify our code. Instead of having a print line, so let's revise it by typing here print, since as you can see the output is not that good. So let's try the code again. Let me close this, run the program code so that it will be something like this. Okay, okay, so enter number. So as you can see, it's now within the same line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, okay, 9, and then 10, and then the output here is 5.5. Okay, so this is the answer for problem number 7. Okay, let's move forward to problem number 8. So let's create a new file. Solution 8.java. So again, let's copy the problem. Okay, so it's kind of long, so we will be having this. Okay, and then word wrap. Okay, so in this problem, we will be computing for a simple billing system or billing program that calculates the user's total bill based on the starting and ending hours of service. Okay, so given 24-hour format, for example, 1 p.m. is equals to 13, 2 p.m. is equals to 14, so we'll be considering that. The charges to use the service is $5.5 per hour. Print out the total user's bill. You can assume that the service will never be used more than 24 hours. Be careful to take care of the case starting hours before midnight and ending time after midnight. Okay, so we will be accomplishing this. First thing is that since we are again required to somehow input, let us have our scanner class here. So import java.util.scanner. Scanner there, and then let's have our main class, public static void main, and then let's create an instance of our scanner class. So first, let's type here scanner is equals to new scanner, then system dot in. Yeah, okay. Once we have that, let's prompt the user to enter the starting hour. Okay, so we are prompting here to, sorry, what happened to my note? Okay, so ask the user to enter the starting hours in a 24-hour format. So let's type here as out, and then enter the starting hour, okay, in 24-hour format there. Okay, once we have that, let's try to input. So I'm going to start with an integer start r, okay, is is equals to scanner dot next int. There. Okay, so why is it that this one here? Okay, I'm not sure why it. Okay, but anyway, let's finish the program first. So after we have that, the starting R, we also need to get the ending R. Okay. Sorry. Oh, why is it like that? Alright, let's system that out that print line. Enter the ending R 24R format here, and then I'm going to use the variable. I'm not sure why. Okay, let me check. I think okay. Anyway, int. Okay, int and R. Okay, and R is equals to scanner that next int. There. Okay, so we already have our input here. The next step is for us to compute. Now, based on the problem, the charges are based on an hourly rate of $5.50. So I'll be creating another variable here, hourly rate. Okay, rate is equals to 5.50, and then we need to compute for the total bill. So let's create another variable. Let's give it a name, total bill. Okay, so you can assume that the service will never be used more than 24 hours. So let's try to compute first. Okay, let's have this one here. If end R is greater than or equal to start R, okay, our total bill will be equal to hourly rate multiplied by the difference between our end R and our start R. There. Okay. Now else, okay, total bill is equals to hourly rate, okay, multiply by 24 minus start R start R sorry start R there, and then plus and R. Okay, so this will be our condition. Oh, why is it that do I have the start R? Yes, I start R, and I also have the end R. Okay, okay, let's continue. Then let's print out the total value. It's not working. Okay, system that out print line, and then we'll say here your total bill is Okay, dollar. Okay, then plus total bill. Then after that, let's try to close scanner that close. Okay. So here's our program code. I'm not sure why it's okay, maybe it's this one. No, not sure why we are having those. Okay, but anyway, I need to clear the cache first. Let's run it. It will generate some errors. Okay, but I need to fix this one here and then clear the cache workspace. Reload. Okay, there. I think it's okay already. Let's close this. Okay, I just need to clear some cache memory. Okay, so let's go back again. Let's review our code. Our program asks us to enter the starting R in a 24R format, and then we assume that the given input will be on a 24R format here. We have declared an hourly rate, this one here, for $5.5, and using an if-else statement, this one, we calculate the total bill based on whether the ending R is greater than or equal to the starting R. If it is, we simply multiply the difference between the R's by the hourly rate. Otherwise, this section here, we account for the case where the service extends past midnight by subtracting the starting R from 24 and then adding the total ending R's and then multiplying it by the hourly rate. Then last is we print out the value, then we close this one. So let's have the section here. So let's run our code again. Right click, run Java. Okay, so starting R. Okay, I think we need to type at least, let me revise this one. Instead of print line, let's have it print so that it will be on the same line. Okay, there. So we have this on the same line. So let's start by saying, so enter R's. Okay, enter starting R's. Let's say we start with 8 and then to 10, that's 2 R's. Okay, and 2 R's multiplied by 5.5, that's 11 R's, right? So that's good. And let's run our program again. Okay, so what if it's greater? How do we, okay, so let's say 20, starting R is 20, and then 24. So we have here 22. Okay, so this is solution number 6. Okay, I know, rather solution number 8. Okay, so let's continue with our code. Okay, let's create a new file. Let's give it a name, solution 9. Okay, let's get the problem. Okay, okay. For problem number 9, we are asked to compute or ask the user to compute for the quantity of items they buy, okay, and calculate the total based on the price structure provided. So the company charges $12 per item if you buy less than 10 items. If you buy from 10 to 99, the cost will be $10 per item, so it's much cheaper. But if you buy 100 or more, the total cost now is $7. So we will be creating a program that asks the user to enter how many items that they're buying and then print out the total cost. Okay, so again, so since the program would require us to input an item, so we will first import our scanner class here. Okay, so import java.util.scanner. Okay, there. After that, let's have our main class. First thing is, let's create now an instance of the scanner class by typing here scanner, then scanner is equals to new scanner, then system.in. Okay, so once we have that, the next thing is let's prompt the user to enter or ask the user how many items that they are buying. So this section here. So let's type as out. Okay, enter the quantity of items you are buying. Okay, there. Okay, let's have a colon here. So again, since like what we have experienced earlier, we like to have it on the same line, the prompt within the same line. Let's remove this one here, and then let's just use print statement. So the next step is let's input. So I'm going to use here the variable quantity, okay, and then scanner that next int. Okay, so we already have our input. Then we need to check the conditions. First is let's create a variable for the total cost, and then once we have that, let's go and check the condition. So if the number of items bought is less than 10, we'll charge $12 per item. This one here is from 10 to 99. We'll charge them at $10 per item, and more than 100, we charge them $7 per item. So let's start with if the quantity is less than 10, okay, then we will have total cost is equals to $12, okay, multiply by the quantity there. Then after that, else if quantity is greater than or equal to 10, greater than or equal to 10, and quantity is less than or equal to 99 or less than 99, or not, let's say less than 100, okay, then we will say total cost is equals to $10 multiplied by quantity there. Then the last part here, if it's greater than 100, else, okay, we will charge them total cost is equals to $7 multiplied by the quantity. Okay, I think that's all. Then let's print out the total cost. Total cost in is the total cost. Total cost is, okay, then dollar plus our variable total cost, and then let's scanner dot close. Okay, so this program will prompt the user to enter the items quantity that they are buying, and then based on the entered quantity, we calculate the total cost using an if-else statement. If the quantity is less than 10, we multiply it by 12. Okay, this is the variable, or this is the value. If the quantity is between 10 to 99, okay, we multiply it by 10. For quantities of 100 and more, we set it to multiply the quantity by $7. Then finally, this section here allows us to print the total cost. So let's try to show the answer. Okay, I think we have covered all the requirements here. Right click, run the Java program. So let's start with our first section. How many quantities of items you are buying? Let's go for 9. Okay, so we multiply it by 12. Okay, let's run it again. This time let's set it to, let's say, 50. Okay, then we multiply it by 10. And the last one here, let's run it again. Okay, and this time let's say 200 items. So we multiply the value by 7. Okay, I think that covers the solution for problem number 9. So again, please try to review the codes and take note that it will be listed in our GitHub page. So let's move forward. Let's have the last problem. So we have here solution 10. Okay, now let me copy the problem here and then move it to this section. Okay, let me have some remarks and paste our problem code. So here is our last problem. In this program, we will be creating a program that prints out on a separate line the following 1,000 items. So we will be sort of concatenating the keyword file 0.jpg and increment it until we reach 999, except that it should not print anything when the number ends in 8, like file 8 or 18 and so on. Okay, so there is a condition that we need to test it out here. So again, in this program, we will use the for loop that will iterate from 0, since we start here with file 0, up to 999. Within each iteration, we could check if the number modulo 10 is not equal to 8, so that we can skip out the numbers. So let's try to write our codes. So public static void main there, and then again I'll be creating here a for loop for int I, and then we'll start with 0. Okay, until I is less than 1000, and then we increment it by 1. So we already have the looping statement here. The next thing is we need to print out file together with the 0 here. But before that, we need to test this section. Okay, take note that if the number ends in 8, we will skip. Okay, so let's have a condition here. If I mod 10 is not equal to 8, it's not equal to 8, then we will print out the values. Otherwise, if it's equal to 8, then we will skip that. Okay, so S out. So we'll have here file. Okay, and then we will concatenate the variable I, okay, and then that JPEG. I think that's it. Okay, so we'll check the first 10. So if in case it ends up with 8, we should be able to skip that. Okay, so right click, run. Okay, so let's try to review our codes. So we are asked to input here the values. Okay, let's go back to this section here. So here we are to display file and then the variable, but we will be somehow skipping the numbers, okay, based on the given requirements. Okay, so let's count file 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. As you can see, 8 is skipped. Then we proceed with 9 and then 10. 11, again, if you can see here, 18 is not listed. So we have 17, and then after that, we also have here 19, and so on and so forth. Okay, so we have cover up the requirements to this particular program code. Okay, so again, okay, we have covered this one. So here's the codes. So let's go back to our text file. The files are uploaded to this link. You can access the solutions that I have created. Take note that you might have a different approach, but this is the most simplest or direct approach in solving the given problems here. So if you have questions, please write it down in the comment sections. And that's all for today's video. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and have a great day. Thank you, guys.